A very good Monday morning to everyone out there. Landon here with you to bring you your latest weather and night forecast, courtesy of Ohio Valley Insurance. Hopefully you all had a wonderful weekend. We're getting started here on the new work week with a complex weather maker that's going to be making its way through the area tonight on into tomorrow. We're going to be dry throughout the daylight hours of today, but folks, you can already see the cloud cover is on a drastic uptick. We've got this warm front that's going to be lifting north over the region. You can see these series of them here already lifting up towards the Great Lakes region. That's really going to warm us up throughout the day. Brisk southerly winds 25 to 35 miles an hour. We're going to be very warm, but despite the uptick in cloud cover, this associated cold front back here from the west is going to blast east through the area throughout the overnight, bringing widespread shower and storm chances along with it. Getting a look over the region, the White Squirrel Weather Nest Cam overlooking Bowling Green and WKU. You can already see the moon getting covered up there by the thickening of the cloud cover, thanks to those southerly winds transporting more moisture up into our vicinity. Beech Tree News Sky Cam up in Morgantown showcasing a similar scenario there early on this Monday. Temperatures have stayed up throughout the overnight with the clouds hanging around. Combining with those southerly winds, we're all the way up into the mid-50s. Despite the cloud cover, we're going to be looking at highs jolting all the way up to right around the 70-degree mark as we work into this afternoon. It's going to be very breezy if you're going to be in the outdoors, so you're going to be combating the winds. And believe it or not, folks, those winds are going to get even stronger as we work into tonight. Here's another look at the illustration with the surface map being sent up throughout the day. That cold front blasting east through the area is what we're going to be watching closely here over the next 24 to 36 hours. We can jump over here and get a look at the latest model guidance and bring you the breakdown. Here we are working throughout today. We get into this afternoon, and then we rolling through the overnight whenever the highest likelihood of the shower and storm chances are going to arrive. By the time we roll and we showcase through the pre-dawn hours of our Tuesday, cold front's going to be right here on our doorstep, deep southerly flow. The good news is, folks, the instability still is waning in regards to what the model guidance is showing. We have a low-level concern of maybe some strong to even severe storms late tonight and then on into our Tuesday as well. But the highest severe threat looks to remain mitigated down to our south. With a higher instability, our storm fuel is going to be located, all right? So let's jump over here and let's take a look at it with the closer up view. Here we are working throughout today, folks, and the thing is, we have some returns showing up on radar. You might get in on a patchy sprinkle here or there, but the lower levels of the atmosphere are very dry. So despite the radar showing some rainfall out there, much of not anything is really making it to the ground. It's not going to be until we work late into the overnight. Here we are getting right around and just after sunset tonight. Then we progress towards the evening hours, and then closer into midnight and thereafter is whenever the cold front is going to blast through here. Midnight, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 a.m. It's going to slow down here and kind of break up to an extent. Hang around throughout our Tuesday morning, and then, folks, the big question mark is going to be the arrival of this dry slot. A few of the models are showing this dry slot arriving in here a little bit earlier than what the 2 p.m. time frame is showcasing tomorrow right now, and there's a little bit of a concern with that. If we're able to get the rain out of here and we're able to get this dry slot to punch in here, they could refuel and re-jolt up our instability for, as you can see here, by late afternoon, the possibility of this robust line of storms blossoming right along and ahead of the cold front somewhere in this vicinity, and some of those storms could be packing quite a punch. So we'll be keeping eyes on that again tomorrow afternoon, Tuesday afternoon, okay? So for the most part, not overly concerned in the severe weather regards, but in terms of wind speeds, folks, we have quite a bit to deal with here. Here we are working throughout today, and they're going to be very brisk out of the south, 25 to 35 miles an hour at times, all right, as you can see here. Now, as we get into this evening, folks, we're going to have a wind advisory that's going to affect right around the sunset time frame this evening, and it's going to last all the way through the overnight and all the way through our Tuesday. You are about to see why. Take a look here. We get into 7 p.m., 8 p.m. We already got winds on the cusp of a magnitude of 45 to perhaps even 50 miles an hour at times. With a cold front that's going to blast through here, look at some of these returns on these readings, folks. 57 miles an hour, 61 miles an hour. For those of you keeping score at home, severe winds developed by a thunderstorm have been given the threshold of winds at or above 58 miles an hour. So we're going to have to keep close eyes on this. Wind advisory continues through the overnight, continues on into our Tuesday as well. As you can see, rolling right in and past sunrise, we still have gusts from the magnitude of 35 to 40 plus miles an hour. These continues throughout a good chunk of the day, and then finally, whenever the cold front gets east of the area by the early part of tomorrow evening, we finally get that activity out of here, all right? It is worth noting and taking a look, we have been issued a wind advisory as a result. This includes the entirety of Wobbles. This takes over as we work into this evening, and then will last throughout a good chunk of our Tuesday as well. So that is definitely worth taking note of. Now let's talk about after we get past this weather maker. The cold front's going to be east of the area. Colder temperatures are going to drag in here with northwest winds as we roll into our Wednesday on into our Thursday. But then we're going to go right back on the warming pattern. High pressure across the deep south, winds pouring in out of the south and west. Looks to be a rather quiet remainder of the week. We go all the way through the weekend. We get into Saturday and Sunday. This ridge right here, building out of the south and east, you can see the little waves of energy riding right along the periphery of the ridge. We'll have to keep an eye on that throughout the weekend, but it looks to stay to our north. And then as we work into the early days of next week, whenever the ridge retrogrades, you can see here, just look at these series of disturbances riding right along that ridge that could be bringing a return to an active pattern roughly 1 week from today, all right? Here's a look at the latest from our local National Weather Service office. We have been given a 1 out of 5 on the severe weather risk scale, again, very late tonight into tomorrow. Gusty, damaging winds will be here and there, maybe some hail being produced as well, but overall, the highest severe threat will remain mitigated down across the deep south and well off to our south and west. So that is the good news. But with that being said, our wind advisory, winds without question, will be the #1 concern this evening all the way through the Tuesday time frame. Total rainfall amounts coming along with this, a ½ an inch upwards to 1 inch of total rainfall. Looks to be the magnitude of what we're looking at. You will note a little bit higher values down to our south. Some of those could be creeping up in here, with some localized areas getting in on even more. Here's a full breakdown of your next 5-day weather forecast. We progress throughout the day. Clouds will be thickening up, very windy. Highs right around the 70-degree mark. Widespread showers and storms overnight into our Tuesday with that passing cold front. Low-level tier of a severe weather risk coming along with that. And then sunshine takes over. Highs right around the 60-degree mark Wednesday into Thursday, up to around the upper 60s, lower 70s, Friday into Saturday. And by Sunday, folks, we're going to be all the way up between the mid and upper 70s potentially. That'll wrap up your Monday morning weather night forecast presented by Ohio Valley Insurance. You all take care of yourselves and each other. Have a blessed start to the new